Welcome back to the Charlie Kirk Show. Hour 2 is underway, and as we hinted in Hour 1, we have a major announcement to make and a special guest as well. And here to help us make that announcement about the All-American Halftime Show is none other than Kid Rock himself. Welcome to the show, Mr. Rock. How are you? Welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show. We're so honored to have you, so excited to have you. And this is a major announcement. This is the first announcement about the All-American Halftime Show. It's happening right here, right now. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited, man.
Well, exactly. You gave, and we just put it all out on social, so this is just happening as we speak. And I read your quote, and I told your team I thought that this was just absolutely amazing. So I'm going to read it. This just went out on the press release that just hit the wires. It says, "We're approaching this show like David and Goliath. Competing with the pro football machine and a global pop superstar is almost impossible. Or is it? He said he's having a dance party, wearing a dress and singing in Spanish. Cool. We plan to play great songs for folks who love America." Tell us what you mean by all that.
Man, I spent some time crafting that quote. I'm not sure if I can top it right now. It's pretty much
pretty good, man.
It's just like, it's like I said, it's like, you're competing with this, this powerhouse machine called the NFL, and in a certain way you're competing with it, and in a certain way you're not either. I think it's kind of I'm actually drafting an op-ed right now that I think I might release on Wednesday. Kind of, how did this come to be? Why did Turning Point have to have an alternative halftime to the NFL? And I think it's, to sum it up quickly, it kind of goes back to what Taylor Sheridan figured out, years back, that half this country is just underserved entertainment-wise, and was just really, so many of us got tired of just, having Hollywood tell us how things are going to be and hearing all their political this and that and trying to, shove their agendas and the trans thing and everything down our throats. And it's like, I guess we're just going to have our own stuff for right now. Well,
that's exactly right. And you're going to be joined by Brantley Gilbert, Brice, Gabby Barrett, and you are going to be the headline here, Kid Rock performing at the All-American Halftime Show. So for those, what was great about this, by the way? So I've been kind of seeing some of the behind the scenes here. And originally, we listed all the artists in the press release, and this many Grammy. We just hit the Grammys in Hour 1, which is ironic. But because they're all anti-ice or whatever. But so we send this over to your team, and we get this note back. It's like, Bob does not want to be associated. Here's what you could say. And it was like, okay, so we said global superstar and Waffle House Legend award winner. And I was like, that is it. I was like, so we stripped any reference of the Grammys and all your awards next to Kid Rock. And instead we have Waffle House Legend award winner. And I just thought, that is so perfect. That is like exactly who we need headlining this made-for-TV concert. And, it's like, this is the thing. I agree with you. It's kind of a David and Goliath thing. I love that framing because, this is a machine we're going up against, right? But really, it's the American people have been underserved, and they've got this big arena. There's big stadium, and it's going to be far away, and it's going to be, the cameras are going to be a mile away from the action. This is going to be intimate and exciting, high octane, high energy, and it's going to be made for TV. It's just a totally different experience than what you're going to get from the other guys. And you could say what you want to say. I have to call up the other guys and that other guy. But I just think that what we're offering is so unique, and you are the perfect person for this. I couldn't be any more excited.
You go into these things, I'm very good friends with Brice, with Brantley Gilbert's a good friend. I do not know Gabby. I love her music. But you kind of wonder what's everyone else doing, because I go into these things and I really spend a lot of time and effort putting something together, and it's going to be something very familiar, and then I'm going to do a complete 180 on people, and I'm kind of excited about that. And then Brice sent me something that he's going to do on there. I was like, wow, that is powerful, and that's good. And it was so happy for me just to hear that, to know that what we're going to do is go out there. What a crazy concept, and just try to play some great music for people who love this country. It's that simple. That's the only way we kind of, take care of our audience. I guess you could call it, maybe get a win. I'm not sure who our competition is. I mean, I saw some of the Grammys last night, kind of had some people here, so we're talking in between, but it was on in the background. I was like, at one point I just go, wow, this is like literally a gathering for people with the woke mind virus. You just look around the room and you're like, wow, man, this is terrible.
Totally. I couldn't. I mean, honestly, it feels like you can't even imagine what media they're consuming, what lies they're listening to. They're anti-ICE, they're anti-law enforcement. That and they you could feel this like this virtue signaling just constantly with them. They think that they really are doing something good, and really what they're doing is they're destroying so much of what makes this country safe and good, the institutions that keep us safe. And then meanwhile,
it literally feels like. And I read this book, and it was this doctor, and she was kind of explaining the generation and like going through mental illness and stuff. It's like, it's literally come to be like, if you don't have some sort of a mental illness or claim to have one at some level, or something's wrong, woe is me, everything's bad, you kind of feel left out of this elite, Hollywood elite group. It's just sad to see some of these people. I mean, I look at that poor Billie Eilish girl. I'm like, just look at her. Like, she looks like literally sad, just unhappy with everything in life. I'm like, that's got to be horrible. Like,
I know
you might want to look into Jesus, girl.
That's exactly right. Well, and speaking of which, we're going to have, there's elements of faith. There's going to be country music, rock music. There's all of this stuff is going to combine into this one beautiful concert. And I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be all over Turning Point socials. So our Turning Point YouTube, X, Rumble, of course. We'll probably throw it up on some other social media accounts that we control. Daily Wire Plus, TBN, right here on Real America's Voice is going to be covering it. We love the guys over at Real America's Voice, so thank you, Parker and Rob, for covering that. OAN, NTD, and then it's going to be on Sinclair as well. So there are lots of places you can check it out. You can see it on the graphic there. But if you're watching the big game and you don't want to be fed a bunch of woke garbage or worry that the guy's going to come out in a dress or celebrate like the queer agenda, you just want something that the family can enjoy, but it's going to be excellent and like high octane entertainment. That's what we need to do. This is where you can go.
Absolutely, man. And God bless you guys for putting this together. When I first heard, you guys just kind of announced it and said, yeah, Turning Point's going to do an alternate halftime. I'm like, oh, yeah, right on. Yeah. Somebody needs to,
excited.
You know what I mean?
I'm excited today, too, because people would always ask me, and I said, I kind of actually didn't know what was going on. They were very tight-lipped about the organization of this, I will say. But we wanted just to get people hyped up. Yep. So one of the guests we have performing, Lee Brice, he did a tribute to Charlie a few months ago, and just kind of give people, if they're not familiar with the artist, an impression of what they're about to hear. Let's play 300.
And usually we do a couple of other songs, but tonight I would like to play a song and dedicated to Charlie Kirk and what he so adamantly stood for, and I don't want to see a picture of this country without God in it, and it seems like every day is trying harder and harder to do that, but I got faith that it ain't gonna go that way.
And the song he ended up playing was When Kingdom Comes.
Yeah, amen. Right. And could you speak to kind of the faith element of this too? It's not going to be like necessarily a worship set or anything, but I know that's important to you as well. And are you planning on integrating any of that into your set?
Man, well, I would love to tell people what I'm doing, but I think the element of surprise is really what's going to make it special, because no one's going to be expecting this 180 that I'm going to do. I'm trying to make it as unselfish as possible, but at the same time, just play something great. I'm like, there's nothing, that we can do, that I can do. And trust me, I'm going to come out and hit them with the Kid Rock, like boom, bang, but that's going to stop very quickly. And I'm going to take it back to music, because one thing I know for sure, no matter what Bad Bunny does, what the NFL is doing, nothing is more powerful than a good song. Nothing. So if you just stick to playing good songs, that's the win right there. And of course, I mean, there's an aspect of, there's a very aspect of faith in this song that I'm going to do. It's not my song. I'll tell people that. It's not a song I wrote, but I did write a verse for it, which is very, very faith-based.
I love it. I don't know what else you can say here, but I know that you've got a lot going on right now. You've got some different announcements you can make. Is there anything else you can tell us about your plans for the next couple of weeks, months, any other releases that you want our audience to know about.
Well, funny enough, we're going to release the song that I'm going to perform for the Turning Point, All-American Halftime. So we're going to release it at midnight that night after the Super Bowl.
Great.
And then we're going to go out and do, I think we're making an announcement this Friday. We're going to do some shows this year. Not a ton. I think it's maybe 10 or so.
Awesome.
So I think it's called the Freedom 250 Tour. And we're going to announce that on Friday. And that's going to kind of lead to this huge thing that we're going to do in July 3rd in a stadium, which is going to be, I'm looking at, I know everyone's going to celebrate America's 250th birthday, July 4th. I want to put together the biggest party for America on the eve of July 3rd, kind of like New Year's Eve, ring a Liberty Bell and shoot cannons and fireworks off and play some music for folks. So a ton of new music on the way with some
awesome.
very, very cool special guests. I think people are going to be wildly happy and surprised at the same time.
I love that. So everybody, you have a mission. You need to tune in to the All-American Halftime Show. When the other guys are doing their sort of queer celebration, whatever, speaking Spanish, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But we're going to be celebrating this country. It's the 250th anniversary of this country, faith, family, and freedom, with an absolute packed lineup of Kid Rock, obviously. And we've got Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, an amazing show. And then your second mission, after you tune in, is to take Kid Rock's new song and make it #1 across all the charts at midnight after the Super Bowl. So please do that. I've heard so many good things about the team working with you on this project. You've been an absolute blast of energy and a breath of fresh air. You get it, and thank you for everything you're doing to help make this a great experience, a great event, and really successful.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having the conads to put it on. You know what I mean? I know it scares a lot of people in my business. Let's put it that way.
That's a whole story for another day. But I mean, when you're going up against the machine, it's a machine. So God bless you, sir.
A lot of people in my position. There's a lot of big acts that are very scared of that machine. I'll tell you that. You already know, but
I do know, and eventually there'll be a time to tell that story. But right now, we're just going to focus on all this good energy, and you're a big part of that. Thank you, Kid Rock. God bless you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was awesome. We'll be.